So last week I spoke about Alan Wake, and I loved Alan Wake, and I said it was going to be 99999 recurring for a score. I've since revised that. I've since refinished the game, refinished this downloadable content. I've replayed American Nightmare, which is another game I will talk about at some other point. I forgot to talk about it at all. Alan Wake is a perfect game. It's a 10 out of 10. My very first 10 out of 10 goes to Alan Wake, a 10-year-old game. So let's get talking about another 10-plus-year-old game. Yay! Hey guys, how you doing? My name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR, or Stuart if you want to call me by my first name. Today we are talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remastered. Now if you are roughly my age, 32 or early 30s, born in the 80s maybe, or early 90s, you are going to remember Tony Hawk's quite well. You would have played it on your PlayStation. I had my copies on N64, and I absolutely loved it. I love these games, and I've always wanted the series to go back to its roots. Because Tony Hawk's 1, 2, 3 and 4 were the best, and some people are partial to Underground, I know. But a few years after, Ride, I think it was, there was a HD re-release. I think it was in 2011, could be very wrong, but it was a HD re-release, and it was fine. It wasn't, I say it wasn't terrible. It was fine. It controlled well. It had some of our favourite levels, some of our favourite songs in it, but it missed out on loads of stuff. It was kind of, lacking, I suppose. And graphically, it was also absolutely brilliant, because it was 360 at the time on PS3, sorry. It looked great. It just was lacking in certain things, like multiplayer. There was no couch co-op in that game whatsoever. You had to play everything online. There was no regular horse. There was just things missing and things you loved about the original games that weren't in there, and like I said, it was just hugely disappointing. But now, 2020, September 4th, this game came out, and honestly, if you think you've had your fill with the HD release, no, straight away, you're wrong. You are wrong, 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 you are wrong. Because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, I'm just going to call it Tony Hawk's, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remaster is actually a fantastic game. It has everything you want in a remake to Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Everything looks amazing. Yeah, the warehouse, many of you may have seen the demo. The warehouse looks incredible. The new levels, the new layouts, the new colors, the new tiny details they got throughout. For instance, in the warehouse, you have a cat running past that you can see just through kind of like fencing. They didn't need to put that in there, but it's there, and it's great. The fact that this game uses all the old controls, and you can turn on the exact original versions of the controls. If you're playing Tony Hawk's 1, you can have no manuals, no hand plants, no wall bounces, those kind of things that weren't in the first game, and then the same for the second game as well, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. You can turn these off and on whenever you like. And I tell you, that's a really cool thing. That's some major replayability right there. Because going back to the original games is really quite difficult, especially if you're very used to the later games where you can do manuals and you can do wall verts and you can do all those kind of things. Reverts, sorry, not wall verts. I've been saying reverts this entire time. But either way, it's really, really good. The fact you have the whole of the first game and the whole of the second game. Now, I do believe you don't get Spider-Man anymore, and probably licensing issues right there, which sadly means it's not the entire game, but you have the full rosters from the first game and the second game of the professional skaters themselves, including some new people as well, some new people you may have heard of. I have not, so I'm not even going to bother listing them. I'm sorry about that. I only know the original ones, to be honest. So yeah, no Spider-Man, which kind of sucks, especially in Tony Hawk's 2, where you could be a Messiah and doing your spider webbing things, and I love doing that. It's one of my favourite things to do. But you can unlock Jack Black, Jables, JB himself, Jablinski from Jablinski Games, I suppose. You can unlock him because Officer Dick, a character that's in all of these games, can be unlocked if you do all your or you create a character missions. You can unlock basically Jack Black as Officer Dick, which personally I think is wicked. I love JB, I really do. But that brings me to Creator Skater. Now, Creator Skater's back, which is awesome. That's always nice to see, and there are so many options. Kick flip. I don't have a skateboard, so I'm just kind of pretending. So one thing about modern games is you don't really get much in a base game anymore because they tend to sell you the rest afterwards through DLC, through season passes, that kind of thing. The earliest, well, the most recent game I can think of, personally, that still has a ton of content that you can just unlock whilst playing, is probably Mario Odyssey. And if you play that game, you probably understand where I'm coming from. Tony Hawk's 2 and 1 and 2, or Pro Skater, this HD remaster, yeah, it has so many unlockables that you can all unlock within games, doing tons and tons and tons of challenges. If you're a completionist, you are gonna have a long time in this game, and you're probably gonna get pretty fatigued because sadly Tony Hawk's is, well, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. You know, if you played it once, you played it before. You know, I would absolutely recommend going back. If you love this game, go back and play it. Look at it, the new functions, because it does control better. It has a much better feel. Even though I still had trouble wall grinding a bell in School 2 and getting that flipping secret tape in Downhill Jam. I had so much issues, but I found it a lot easier than I did with Tony Hawk's HD. So to fix the controls, it's just still a bit awkward because Tony's constantly moving forwards. Ooh. But the controls are really cool in this game. Obviously, it is hold A to go. Well, you don't hold A, you can just go. It goes automatically, but hold A to prepare your ollie. Jump off the ramps, hit a direction, hit a button, you will perform a trick. And you have loads of tricks. You can customize all this as well within the game, and you can customize your characters within the game as well. This includes all the skaters that you can play as, and obviously your own creator character. Mine has red hair. I couldn't really see it, so it turned out it was red when I was playing the game. I thought it was gonna be brown, but well. But obviously you can customize your boards, you can customize your boards, you can customize your character, and you can create a skate park. This is mine. It's awful. I hate these things. Don't get me wrong, I love a creator skater, and I love like creating entrance mode in wrestling games. I do really enjoy this kind of thing, but I just don't have the creativity or the patience to really sit down and get fully into the technical side of this game when it comes to the creator park. In fact, I've never been good at creator park. I tend to just make half pipes everywhere, and that's about it, and rail pipes. You can see it all here anyway. My brother was very, very good at this, and actually I have to thank my brother for this, because it wasn't him, I wouldn't be playing this game. I wouldn't have played this game for this video. So thanks, Will, appreciate that. Now the music in this game, if you played the original Tony Hawk's, you know the music that's going to be in this game. It's got all your classics minus a couple. I'm not sure what that was. So the music in this game, obviously you have all your classics from the original games, minus a couple here and there, but I think the ones that you don't know are the ones you're not going to be caring about. You've got Goldfinger, you've got Papa Roach, you've got Rage Against the Machine, they're all in here, and well, that's all we kind of really need with music. But you can play these as like a record. You can take out the new ones, you can add some in, you can skip them as you're playing, which is actually a really nice feature, because I've heard Superman now probably about 60 times in the short period of time I was playing it. So being able to click the right stick and skip that is really, really nice. I appreciated that. Thank you very much. And obviously the music in this game really kind of gets the whole attitude of being a skater in the early 2000s. So it really brings that here. Now, obviously, looking at all the main characters as well, it would have been sweet to have, that kind of feel you see in games. I think one of the first ones that came up in was Monkey Island, but you also have in Halo Master Chief Collection where you can press back or select, and it will go back to the original version of the game to see what it would look like. I would love to have seen that in this game, but I imagine that was probably quite difficult. It'd be really cool if you completed the games and you unlocked it, or you unlocked the third game or something like that. I don't know, I doubt that's ever going to happen, but it would have been really nice to see the comparisons, because the draw distance in the original games was limited by the technology of the consoles themselves. So it was loads of cloud, you didn't really see very far ahead. Now you can be at one end of the park and see right to the other end and know exactly what's coming up, which is really, really nice. It actually makes life a little bit easier as well, because it means you can work out those perfect lines and hit them perfectly and anticipate what's coming up next, so you can, manual and get to the next one, keep the combo chain going, which obviously you can produce massive combos. I did one earlier on, I just got like 100k without even trying, within the first 10 seconds of the level. So gameplay is really, really fun. And one thing I really, really like is the fact that we have the older skaters that were in the original games looking like themselves now. I believe you can unlock versions of them where they look younger or really wearing the same outfits that they were in the younger games. But it was really nice to see some of these names pop up. Jai Caballero, Tony Hawk, obviously, Arun Glifberg. You know, seeing these names pop up again just kind of hit that nostalgia button in me. And I had a great time playing this. Obviously, graphically with the characters, that's really cool. The character models need to look good, need to be able to move and function well, because it will kind of make the game seem stilted if it doesn't. But the areas, again, if you go to Venice Beach in Tony Hawk's 2, there is graffiti everywhere, and it's all different. I don't think I saw a single one that was exactly the same. And there's so much detail there, and it's really, really awesome to see. Oleg the Magic Bum, he's there, he's disappearing and flying back, doing his thing. He's in the same location, so if you know those locations where all the collectibles are, you're gonna have a quick time getting through this. So a small detail that has changed, there's no longer cash in the games. You have these ghost items, so you can obviously got your main collectibles. You got your spray cans that you're in Venice Beach, for instance. You got your boarding passes, which is in New York. You got your crates, which are in the warehouse. But you've also got replacements for the money or the 100 points, or whatever it was, that was in the original games. That's now been replaced by new challenges. So you can get fire hydrants, for instance. You can unlock. You can, well, say you unlock. You have to collect and get them. You know, so there's tiny little things that have been changed, and personally, all for the better. Really, really is. This game is just an absolutely fantastic game. I absolutely love my time playing it, and I will enjoy playing this game until I've completed it. And I will probably do it with every single character, because that's just the kind of person I am when it comes to this game. I did it with the originals. I'm gonna do it with the remake. What is falling down? No one change that hasn't come to this game at all is the way I play it. Now, some people are not going to enjoy this because, yeah, you hold your controller traditional way, 2 thumbs, yeah? Well, I had my index finger right on the Y button, right on the triangle button. I had a claw position going on. Now, this drove people mad when we first played this game. I know people got annoyed at me for doing it. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Basically, it was so I could grind all the time, because I had difficulty switching from the ollie to the grind button. That's all it was. And like muscle memory, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater comes across the screen, my hand is in position on that controller like that. Even the modern controllers, which are much bigger than the older one, well, I say big or kind of thicker, I suppose, than older controllers, still really comfortable for me to do it, and that's just how I did things, and that's just one I did. If you were ever burnt by Tony Hawk's 5, which I know some of us here at Respawning were, or you weren't too enthralled by the Tony Hawk's HD remaster remake thing that happened, I know I wasn't. I found it extremely disappointing to the point that I didn't play any other Tony Hawk's games until these ones came out, because, well, you know, it's an arcade skater and it's great. I love me some arcade games, come on. Like, this game just, it took an amazing game, an incredible game, second to Metacritic, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and made it better. Like, it made it better. I need to emphasize that. It made the second best game in the entirety of games better. 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 And that's really hard to do. How can you make something that's considered perfect in almost every way better? And how they did it is by making it look gorgeous, making the controls sweet, and acknowledging the fact that the controls have changed, that you can switch them in and out. The cheats are still here, kind of. They're not really here. You can't put the cheat codes in, because if you press like circle, is it circle? Circle or B, you just come out of the menu even if you're holding L1. So sadly, the cheats aren't there, but there are some. You know, perfect balance, perfect rail balance, perfect manual balance. Those kind of things are there. I haven't found the moon gravity cheat, which honestly, I love the moon gravity cheat. It's my favourite thing in the world. But big heads isn't there, that kind of thing. So there's a few things that have been taken out, but they've added so much more in. They've added so much more customization, so much more detail into create characters and create a park modes. It's just, it's wonderful. It truly is wonderful. Oh, I just remembered something. I played the multiplayer. I didn't play multiplayer. What's that about? I played online as well. I never play online, and I actually had a good time. I didn't play it for massive amount of time, but there is something you need to know. So basically, you go into multiplayer and you get like 5 challenges that you have to do with groups of people. I think you have like I think it's like 10 people, maybe even 8. 8 people in with you at the same time. You go right through each other. You don't knock each other over, which is fantastic, because that would get really, really annoying. But you have challenges. You have graffiti, where you got to grind across certain things and tag it with your color, and you got to get the most points on it, obviously, because someone else might take it away from you. You have combo crash, where you got to get the biggest combo together, the biggest combo score in total, and hopefully win that one. You have loads of things like this. I haven't played Horse yet, so I think that's more just a friendly player, local multiplayer thing. I'm not sure if it's actually online. I haven't seen that yet. But there's loads of stuff online as well, loads of ways to play. And obviously, because you create characters and your customization, you can really, really be yourself. I didn't see anything in this game that it's all like microtransactions. So if microtransactions aren't in this game, or if they do appear in later, I will be very annoyed if they do. But so far, they're not there, which is fantastic. And the online play, it works really smoothly. I had no problems playing it. There was no glitches. The loading times, the waiting, the lobby times weren't very long at all. But obviously the game's only just come out, so it's kind of expected. But there is a caveat I need you to know. These games are 20 plus years old. 25 years old? Something along those lines. They are really they've been around for a long, long time. And again, when they were first out, we played them so much. We knew these games like the backs of our hands. And muscle memory, I mentioned it, muscle memory with my claw hand thing going on earlier. That is the same thing. The layouts of these games are exactly the same. So if you know the lines, you know where you're going to go, you're going to be able to rack up major scores. If you go online, you're going to find people that are just destroying it already. Absolutely killing this game. So you do have an uphill struggle on that side of things, but I never felt like it was really unfair, to be honest. Yes, there was a guy that could beat everyone by about 300,000 points, when the nearest one afterwards was like 50,000 points. But that will come in time. Once he's played this game, I think he's going to put it down. Once those kind of people play these games, they're probably just going to put them down. I don't expect them to stick around for a long time, but they will put people off. But I just stick with the game. Stick with the game. Play the campaigns. Play the free skate versions. Get yourself used to it. Play the online and just enjoy it, because I promise you are going to get good at this game and you're going to have so much fun. You're going to find tons of secrets as well. You're going to find different lines that you're not going to expect. For instance, there was one, I can't remember the level, but there's some kind of warehouse, not the warehouse one, I think it's in the second game. But I went up the side of this ramp that has a half pipe in it, and I ended up on the girders, all on the top. Now, I knew that existed, but when I first discovered that back then, we had no idea you could even do that. Get up so high into the rooftops, you can get onto the girders and grind your way across and rack up some awesome points, because there's a long, long line of grinding right there. But I'm getting a bit sidetracked here anyway. So online in this game, so far, really good. Just be aware that people like myself will be racking up high scores because we know the games very well. If you are new to the franchise, this is going to be a little bit of an off-putter for you. But stick with the game. I promise you, you're going to do amazing. Do those tutorials as well. They're very good, and they really will teach you how to do it. So guys, that was my thoughts on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remastered. And personally, I think it was a fantastic return to form from the Hawkman himself. This game has everything I wanted it to have. It had the ability to go back to the original controls and new versions. Obviously, everything being fine-tuned. The fact it looks gorgeous. The fact the music is still there. You can play multiplayer online or on the couch at home, which is just, yes, I miss that kind of thing. I really do. This game for me is getting a 9 out of 10. No questions asked. 9 out of 10. Fantastic game. Just awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is now back to the legendary status it was. I don't know if I had to go back to the beginning to do that, but maybe next year we'll get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered, and then get a brand new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game that sticks to that formula. I really hope so. I really hope that's the way it goes. But anyway, guys, that's enough from me. I've been Codename Big Bear. Thank you very much for watching Bear's Den. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, put comments below, all that kind of thing. It really, really does help us out. And most of all, just be nice to each other, yeah?